All right, let's go live. It's been a little while since I have done this. Probably over a month or so. They changed a lot in YouTube since the last time I went live. Again! So I'm going to see if, in fact, the stream starts up before I start yakking. Let's see, where? Yeah, let's go here. Are we rocking and rolling? Yeah, looks like we are. Looks like things are happening. Sweet nectar. Let's pop in here, rocking and rolling. Yeah, let's make sure we have the chat open here. So, yeah, I'm going to play some Space Invader 7. Yeah, if you've never heard of it, you're not alone. I've never heard of it before either. The author of Space Invader 7 reached out to us here at GenXGrownUp and said, hey, this sounds like something that you would like to play. And I was like, yeah, sounds like you're right. That is the kind of thing that I would like to play. You're absolutely correct. So, yeah, I figured why not give it a shot and see what it's like. It looks a lot like regular old average Space Invaders. Why am I in the wrong chat here? That doesn't work. Sorry about that. Stand by. Let's open up the right thing. There it is. It's a riveting live stream so far, isn't it? Yeah, let's hop in here. All right, now we have the proper live chat. Now I'm not baffled. Let's open that chat. Okay. So, now we got the right one. Yeah, so I want to take a look at this. It looks a lot just like regular old average run-of-the-mill Space Invaders. But it has a bunch of settings and stuff, so I wanted to try it out on behalf of Kevin, the author, who reached out to me and said give it a shot. So, yeah, I thought I would share it with you while I'm at it. Play Space Invaders. Okay, I intend to. Get down a little bit. And this is not emulation. This is not you know, a ROM or something. This is a rewrite to the best of my ability to figure it out. It appears to be a rewrite. Take that, spaceship. Play a couple of levels. Play a couple of levels here first, and then look at all the different options and stuff that are in there. I did a little reading, and it looks like this first came out maybe on Windows Phone or something. Hey, Pyravods, VODs, how you doing, man? Or lady, whichever you may be. Hi there. Yeah, just taking a look at some Space Invader 7 on a lazy Saturday afternoon. Just saying, the author hit me up with a key and said, you should take a look at this. People that watch you might like this. And they're right. We love arcade games. It's looks for all the world like Space Invaders, doesn't it? Charlie! The first like! Pyro said a guy. Cool. Excellent. How's it going, bro? Let's kill this last alien. Boom! Dead. Charlie, you are notorious for getting the first likes. You're money on the ball. Get a couple levels into this, and I want to take a peek and see all the options that are in here. Oh, I am East Coast United States, so it's afternoon for me. I don't know where you're located. Got to get the bonus ship. Oh, ouch. That's what you get for scratching your nose. Extra life, hooray! I mean, when I saw East Coast as well. Alright, cool, Pyra. When I first saw this, it was like 3:09. Okay, so you're an hour behind me. Or ahead of me, however you look at it. Oh, I missed that spaceship. How could I? I'll tell you. Well, I was just saying, it's definitely not a real ROM, but the UFO comes across a lot more frequently than I would expect in standard space. There's another one. They're just constant. I mean, that's good for points, but it distracts you because it's super high points and you want to get over there. Yeah, this is like not in Steam or anything. It's on the Windows Store. I think it was on the Windows Phone. I think it's on the Xbox. I think it just ported to the Xbox. Yeah, Pyro says that's weird. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of UFOs. I mean, I want to hit them. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to shoot them, but... Huey is here! How's it going, Huey? Blast It or Stash It is here. Let's finish this rack and let's take a look at some of these options and see. Oh, that's not the way to do it. There's one. Okay. Boop. Let's pause. The backdrop effect, says Adam. Yeah, for sure. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. This is, I was just saying, so the author, Kevin, I forget his last name, I can look it up. Maybe he doesn't want me to say, but Kevin reached out and said, hey, the guys that follow your channel, you do a lot of arcade game stuff, and they might like this. So, I mean, that's factual. But it's not a ROM, it's a rewrite kind of thing. So we got some graphics options, so color on or off, or you can see in the background. The color on and off. All right, that makes sense. The background. That's that backdrop that you were just talking about, Adam. Yeah, you can turn that on or off. Show the cabinet. Poof. That's the whole kind of sidebar thing. I'll leave it on. That's cool. And we got a screen. What's in the screen? Brightness. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Refresh rate, TV calibration, aspect ratio. What is that? You didn't get a notification for the stream. Well, that stinks. I'm sorry. YouTube is YouTube. You know, it's weird. And you have notifications turned on, I'm guessing, right? So, smoothing on or off. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I got to have the full screen, which I'm not going to do. And then there's a bunch of effects, which are interesting. So, got all kinds of different stuff. Oh, that it says dot matrix. At glance, I thought it said dominatrix. Sorry, that's not what it says. So, all right, so effects on. So we have, you can kind of see in the background, there's vertical lines, dot matrix, lines, horizontal lines. Okay. All right, so it's a different layout. Smoothing, we're not going to do. They have that in 2 places. TV burn, like some kind of a burn in. Let's see. Let's crank it up and see what it looks like. I don't know. Tetris Boy 9 says, when are you going to do a review of these Super Impulse, Burger Time, Boardwalk, etc., etc., etc.? Yeah, working on that. I think the next thing coming up that's planned is the Burger Time. I'm actually going to do a comparison between the Burger Time and the My Arcade Super Impulse and the My Arcade Burger Time. They're separated by about 2 years, but yet they're both the same game. So I'm actually working on that. So thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Thank you for paying attention and caring and knowing what we're doing. All right, so it turned on some burn. Let's see. I gotta leave it on. We'll see what that. Oh, yeah, that looks hideous. Let's turn that off. A little maybe. I think it was on 6 or 10 already. We'll leave it there. And then brightness. All right, we don't want to dim it down. The dot matrix thing is kind of interesting. Charlie says, "What's your opinion on the Super Mario Brothers Game and Watch?" Thanks for asking. So, I think it's cool, and it's an awesome thing that I don't need. It's a I don't like that burn in. We got rid of that's weird. It's I mean I'm actually thrilled that like newer generations are into and getting a chance to see Mario and stuff like that. That era of games is fantastic, but yeah, I don't have a lot of need for it myself. There are a lot of ways to play Mario, Super Mario or Mario Brothers, any of those. And it's an expensive thing to play just Mario on, but I get the nostalgia factor. I don't see myself being a buyer, but I think it's pretty cool. I just like celebrating nostalgia in general. Pyro says for road trips and stuff. Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, But I think about, what the dot matrix is kind of cool. I think about what I would do with it, and like for road trips, like you said, Pyra, right? So I'm going to play some Mario. But, I have a little Android handheld thing that I could do that on now. So it's kind of weird wanting to, a single function thing like that. It costs, what is it, 60 or 70 bucks, I think? It's just kind of steep for a single function device. Single function, it has a clock in it, it has Mario in it. And I think Mario 2, maybe? Is that right? We're getting behind in the chat. What's going on? I know Phil said something. As a child, you had an actual Space Invaders cabinet. Oh, nice. Yep. Blaster stash, and are we going to get any more from the escape room? I don't know. Only time will tell. He's talking about our special edition audio podcast that we did a dramatic thing. We'll see. That's a lot of work. It took a lot of planning. Tetris Boy, already have Super Impulse, Arcade Burger Time, Tiny Arcade. Hell, you got all of those. And the Mappy one I don't have yet. I like that. The TMNT one I finally found at Target. So yeah, $50 for the little Game & Watch. All right. The dot matrix is kind of growing on me, but it's kind of not necessary. Extra man. It's the Lost Levels. Okay, thank you. Yeah. And there's one more game. Something else that was on Game & Watch I read on there was some kind of a ball game or a Pong-looking game. I forget what it was called. Huey says, thank you. Turned out great. Took a lot of work. Yeah, it was... I could talk forever about that, but I don't want to bore anybody that doesn't pay attention to it. It was, a ton of writing, a ton of editing and stuff like that, and way outside of my comfort zone. Because we do a weekly podcast, but it's just us talking about stuff we know, right? Oh, no. Got it. Oh, let me pause a second, catch up on the chat. Yeah, so Charlie confirmed the Lost Levels, Mario Brothers 2 in Japan. So it has 1, 2, the ball game thing, and a clock. Super Mario Ball starring Mario. Okay. For single-purpose system, it's more or less on the expensive side. Yeah, and you think about it, I paid, $50 for that Space Invaders My Arcade, but it's a big item, and it's more of a showpiece, put on your shelf, collectible sort of thing, you know what I mean? I'm going to try another one of these graphic options and see what else they look like. I was very grateful to the author of this game to send us a key, so I wanted to give it a shot and take a look at it. Horizontal lines. That looks a little... did I do it? Yeah. Just having all the graphic options is nice. It's kind of, how worn out do you want to pretend that your Space Invaders cabinet is, right? I can't get over how often the dang UFOs come through. Yeah, expect it to be like $30. Yeah, but you're right. That's what it's worth, I think, but Nintendo dances to their own drummer. They set the price they think is right, and, they got the meats, right? They're the only ones that are putting out Mario stuff, and if you want Mario stuff, you pay what they say you pay. Come on. Aliens? Yeah. By the way, you'll let me know if the audio mix is high or low, or the music is the game is too loud. I will, I'm better at Space Invaders than this, I swear, but, one thing that this one thing that this touts, that's new words I'm making, one thing this touts is the ability to stop any time and resume the game where you left off, that could be nice. That could be nice. Yeah. For a rewrite, I don't know if you're talking about the Space Invaders or the Mario Watch, but for a rewrite, this is, it's Space Invaders, as far as I can tell. Other than, God, look at the UFO is what I can't get over, just how often that comes by, Pyra's got to go. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Oh, that's different. Look how that cuts into the barriers. That's not usual. MC Murr, some Space Invaders going on. Yeah. Now, not Space Invaders. Space Invader 7. Legally distinct from Space Invaders, I would like to point out. Murr, this is I was saying before you got here and explaining, this is a Windows Store app that just released on Xbox and just, I think, used to be on Windows Phone. And the author reached out to, said, hey, John, you want to take a look at this for your viewers? And I'm like, is it Space Invaders? Okay, I'll do it. Oh, goodness. Die. What it does have, though, let's see what the game options, what do you got cooking? So graphic options I did, joystick options, Amazon TV remote, and Google TV remote. So he's cross-platforming this like a son of a gun. Look at that. All kinds of platforms, remotes and stuff like that. Well, I'm just using my keyboard right now, so I'll leave that alone. Volume control. Yeah, okay, fine. Charlie, are you a Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, or Xbox person? Is the question from Charlie. I have all of them in my house. I'll tell you that. And our family uses different things. My wife plays a lot of Xbox and Switch. My daughter plays a lot of PC and PlayStation and Switch. And I pretty much just stick to PC. I was a Nintendo person in the 90s. And then I switched over to Xbox when the Xbox 360 came out. It was HD, and I had an HD TV, so I absolutely wanted to have that. And I was an Xbox faithful for a long time, and I was going to get the Xbox One when it first came out, but they reversed their plan to have it kind of digital distribution, and which Steam kind of does, and it kind of lets you democratize your own media, and you don't have to have the disc everywhere. So as soon as they did that, I'm like, if I'm going to rebuy everything, let me just start PC, and I haven't looked back. You can get incredible deals on PC games through Humble Bundle and all these other distribution sites, and I just have a great experience on PC. I'll say, Uncle Strange, welcome, and Trucker Ford, how's it going? Let me see. Trucker says, Game & Watch Mario Brothers, not machine specific. You go to the video, Game & Watch for the video. Looks pretty. It does look nice. Yeah, we were just talking about it. If you scroll back in the chat there, Trucker, we were talking about it's nice. It's a single function device that feels kind of weird on, but at that price point. But Nintendo owns everything Nintendo, so you pay what they say. And I'm sure, it's going to sell like gangbusters. I had a friend in the UK write me saying, what do you think about it? And said he got one for his son. I'm like, that's great. I don't know that I would. If I get a review unit, I'd love to take a look at it, but it's, you got to pick and choose. When you're trying to... It has been a few, Strange. It is really good to see you. I've been okay. It's, living that COVID life, right? Oh, my goodness. Got him. Man, they're already up in my shields. Cut that out. I don't know what price point this is. We were talking about price points on Nintendo stuff. I don't know what the price point is on this. It would have to be... I can see a lot of work went into it, but in the end, it's really just Space Invaders that you can play 100 ways on 100 different things. Man, that UFO is prolific. Charlie says, going to West Virginia on Friday. Wish you luck. Man, stay healthy. Be careful in traveling at all. So, yeah, Charlie, be well and make smart decisions out there. Don't expose yourself to anything unnecessary. Murr says his Game & Watch will be delivered today. Zero need for it, but yeah, for sure. And when you're not using it, it can change like it hits 12. Yeah, I know it's a clock also, right? But again, I already have a clock. I already have 50 ways to play Mario. And I can get an old Game & Watch if I just want one on my shelf. So that's why I'm not dogging on it. I think it's not for me. I think it's more for younger Gen Xers who, I messed that up, who grew up with a Mario. I was in high school when the NES came out, and I was already playing with computers and. Again, nothing wrong with any of that. It's not quite for me. Yeah, $50 for sure. I hope they don't get any lower because they're already chewing up my shields as it is. Trucker, I don't know when you first found us, but I've seen a few of your comments recently on our videos. So You may not be new, but you're new to me, so welcome. I'm happy to have you as one of the viewers. I really am. Always am. And grateful when new people find us, of course. Come on, UFO. Charlie is the king of the first commenter, I'll tell you that. He must have an F5 macro set up to refresh our page, because he's the first one to comment on thumbs up on every video lately, I think. Oh, hey Fern, I got the game to watch, and honestly, the screen looks amazing. It looked bad in the video, but in person, it's crystal clear. Understand it's expensive. I mean, $50 is $50 if you're a game fan. I mean, $50 is less than a launch title anyway. But I mean, God, it's an old game. They could have sold that at $30 and I think tripled their sales. Don't you think? Trucker, I saw your message. You called it a glitch. I'm gonna call it a hidden feature. And yeah, that was fascinating. The high score save. I definitely remember seeing your message. And I've not yet taken the opportunity to crack one of my display boxes back open and I don't even say test. I have full faith that you're right. But that might be worth, might be video worthy to take what you discovered. Trucker discovered a lot of the basic fun machines. If you let them go into sleep mode on their own, they will save the high score, even though they don't when you turn it off, which is interesting. That's pretty cool. But he found a problem with it. Lay it on me. What's the problem? Well, I try to prevent these people from... Oh, something else. You found something beside the high score. Okay. I gotta keep these guys from tearing up my shields because... UFOs aplenty. Oh, I missed it. You know what else? I don't know what it's set to, but extra lives are generous in this one. I think I have 4 lives down there. Is that what that says? They just never stop coming. Here, I got it. Boom, get it. Alright, gotta prune this down. I mean, I would say this is a pretty faithful Space Invaders. I mean, wouldn't you? I don't think... Oh, okay, I see, Trucker. So you let it go into sleep mode. So that suggests to me that it's not really turning off, right? It's going into a hibernation mode. And so the start button to bring it back to life. Yeah, that's a tenuous way to save your high scores. You gotta let it go to sleep. You gotta remember how to push the button. I mean, good that it saves it, but the reality is, like you said, it's probably not actually saving anything. It's just not going to sleep, right? Ooh, well done, Earthling. This time you win. What do you mean I win? But it will not save you. What is this ultimatum going up here? Now do battle with our enhanced super forces. Okay. I beg your pardon? Well, they're going back up top now, so why are they super forces? Well, they went back to the top of the screen, so that's refreshing. Come here, UFO. Oh, I missed you. Dang. I'm a great shot. Come on. Oh, really? Come on. I'm back to 4 lives, so... Oh, look at dropping multiple bombs. Okay, I see how they're up with the difficulty. But they keep just giving out UFOs like it's candy, though. So I'll take them. Trucker says... Yeah, but with this high score... Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the point of a high score, right? You want to be able to go try and beat it, which is nice. I mean, it would be better if they just saved the high score like a proper function, but that's a cool discovery. UFO! 150. Come on. All right, got him up high now. Come on. Got him. I know a lot of people for who, like, they can't get past the first rack of aliens and Space Invaders. That last guy who goes super fast, they're like, forget about it. My brother was like that. And he's a hell of a Galaga player, but when the last Invader and Space Invaders come by, he's a lost cause. Come on, come on. There we go. Ah! I don't find these forces to be that much enhanced. Boom! Extra life. The biggest challenge in this one is going to be how many lives can I get, I think. Whoa! Well, except when I die like that. Do you have an NES Classic? What's your opinion on it? I don't have an NES Classic. And honestly, Charlie, for the same reason that I was talking about the Game & Watch, right? I have all those NES ROMs. I can play those games on my little Android, on my PC. I could take them with me already. So a single-use device like that is... You know, I'm just not the customer for it. You know, now if I'm reviewing it, that's something else, but Nintendo is just a shade on the ragged edge of Gen X, so it's... Those Nintendo products is not something that I've been chasing for our channel, even though I have an interest. I think it spawned a bunch more stuff at success, right? It had the Super NES Classic and the Genesis Classic and the PlayStation Classic, and I'm going to mess around and miss this guy. There we go. Now, the great thing about buying that is buying one... Just get shot. Buying one means you now have purchased... Ostensibly, you have purchased the ROM again, right? So you own the game. That means you're now legally entitled to play that ROM that you acquired via whatever means you acquired the ROM, because you now purchased the game in case you don't have the cartridge, which is nice, but... Yeah, it's not... Yeah, I like it, but just... It occupies another HDMI port, and... adjusting my volume. It's another little gadget that... Single-function gadgets have their place. For me, I would not... That being said, I mean, I have a ton of those little mini arcades, as you've seen on the channel. But those are more for display, you know, so... Now, if you're a Nintendo collector, no-brainer. I mean, you want that because it looks awesome, and it's a little version of the NES. Yeah, I was never a buyer, though, and I've seen them secondhand, too. Trucker says, let's say you let it go, so you're back in the basic fun. Go in sleep mode. You know, press the start to get back in it after a few hours. Your score will be lost, so it really doesn't keep your score forever. Oh, so it's just a small period of time thing. Okay, that's good to know. Maybe that's just a kind of a ancillary thing that maybe it's worth a short. Maybe we won't do a full video on it, but we might mention it. Just a quick get the word out sort of thing. The Lego NES. You know what? That was a super tempting thing for me. Pricey as hell, but I think the little homage to Level 1-1 that was hidden inside of the box is amazing. Yay, constructs! Well, because they're cheaper, yeah. Lego is... I mean, nobody beats Lego's build quality. Just that the ABS plastic they use, nothing clicks like it. I mean, Mega Blocks are nice and other stuff and knockoffs. You know, Fogos or No-Gos or whatever your knockoff Legos you like to call are, but constructs. Why can't I shoot him? Ah! I'm down to 1 life. Yeah, I love Lego too. But that thing was awesome. And it's one of those things you're not going to buy it used, right? Because somebody's built it and lost all the pieces and burned the manual, so... Yeah, that's still something that I'm a maybe on. I was watching that hard. And, but the thing was, so was everybody and their brother. So I didn't end up pulling the trigger on it. I just did a bunch of Lego short videos, those arcade cabinets, and it was kind of too close behind that. I didn't want to, you know, turn into the Lego channel, so that was kind of influenced my not buying it. But I'm still interested. I mean, if somebody gave it to me, I would play with it, right? So it's... Yeah, I would like to build that. That's really cool. Now, what I do have is after that inspired me to pick up. I found somebody making their own. Everybody does their own creations with Legos, right? And I found a company that made an Atari 2600 Mini out of Lego, and it's great. I recorded it, but haven't released it yet. Vicky, a new sub here. How long have you had this channel? It's really awesome. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you very much. We've been around for about three and a half years. We also have a companion podcast that's been on for about 3 years, going strong. A new episode every single week. If you like our kinds of Gen X era nostalgia and tomfoolery, something to listen to on your drive or when you're cleaning the house, just, you can search on your iTunes or wherever and find us. And yeah, very grateful to have. How did you find us? I'm always interested when I hear people are new to the channel, how they found us. Oh, get it. Got it. All right, I got to pause. Phoenix Emperor Kai says, the podcast is great. Thank you so much. I'd almost ask a stupid question. Oh, do you listen? No, you just don't listen. I made that up. Of course you do. Thank you. Obviously you listen. Thanks so much for that. Yeah, Vicky, tell me how you found us. That's always intriguing to me. Let's see, did I miss anything in chat while I've been goofing off, while I've been playing a fool here? Mer says it's the 80s constructs, not Mega Bloks. Yeah, look, I'm not down on constructs. I'm just saying Lego is Lego. I mean, it's the OG. So if you're just joining, just quick recap. I'm playing this is not Space Invaders. This is Space Invader 7. The author, Kevin, dropped me an email and said, "Hey, I see that you're an arcade game nerd. Oops. Would you be interested in trying this out?" And I said, not just no, but hell yes, but hell yes. So he sent me a key, and I downloaded it off the Windows Store, and thought this would be a nice, lazy Saturday afternoon venue to give it a look. Vicky said, I was sick of hearing about millennial stuff, so I started looking up Gen X content and found you. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Thank you. Well, I'm happy that we found each other. Do we watch Stranger Things? Yeah, absolutely we do. Yep. In fact, if you look back on the channel somewhere... I gotta get these points, hold on. Oh, I missed! If you look back on the channel, we did a video when the second season of Stranger Things premiered, where all three of us happened to be together in the same town, and we kind of watched it together and made some initial comments about it. If you're of a mind to check that out. You like the Gen X intro song? Man, if you like that song, that is by a nerdcore hip-hop artist named Beefy. There's a link in almost every video, including this one. There should be if you scroll down to his website, beefiness.com. He actually just came out with a brand new album. It includes a track about Dungeons & Dragons, includes a track about Among Us, includes a track about My Hero Academia. He's so... His music and his tone is so lighthearted, and he didn't write that song for us. It was on an album like 4 albums ago, and it just so happened to fit well with what we were doing. We wrote him, and he's like, yeah. In fact... Another self-plug, we edited a video about acquiring the rights to use the song. You can look back in the backlogs of our stuff up for that, but... Yeah, I mean, MC Murr is also a content creator. He's here in the chat, and he'll tell you that, doing this kind of thing, it's a hobby, but it's a full-time job if you're really trying to do it well and trying to create something that you're proud of, and I think Beefy got that, and he granted us the permission to use this as our theme song, and it couldn't fit better. I've had almost universally people have said it's awesome. Some people go, I don't like rap. I'm like, okay. However, I will have you know, rap is an integral part of the Generation X experience. Rap was created by Gen Xers, and it is totally part of our experience, and wholeheartedly belongs as part of a channel about the Generation X experience, so I'm proud to have it. Yeah, Murr says it's a mega grind, labor of love. All right, Trucker, another nugget about the basic fun. He said, weird thing about arcade classics. For some reason, your score will be kept forever in mini Fix-It Felix. Yeah, so some of them had a chip to store your high score. I think the new Tetris does that. The other ones, I'm assuming the glitch you found, you call it a glitch. I would just, like I said, a hidden feature, is that it's really just going into a sleep mode, I think. Die. Charlie says, do you have cable? Mm-mm. No, I cut the cable many, many years ago, and I just do all, online streaming and stuff like that. Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. And look, there's plenty out there, and most of that stuff is superior to what the networks are putting out. And I have a way to watch network stuff if I want, so I ditched cable some time ago. And I'm quite happy about it. I built a server, and I have a NAS to store all my movies, and use Plex, and everything's available on the fly. Come on, UFO. Oh, I'm going to miss it. Oh, my goodness. They're really low now. I got to get over here. All this chat talk, and I'm not minding the store. Is he going to drop on me? No, I got one more level. Okay, good. Got him. We're clear. All right, we're good now. Ooh! They're a little tougher. Oh, and I missed the UFO again? I'm a poser. Trucker says I have the older Fix-It Felix one, so mine is different. What's my opinion on Wreck-It Ralph? Oh, Charlie, you have not gone into the backlog. You need to find a video that I did called "Why This Generation Xer Loves Wreck-It Ralph," and that will tell you everything there is. And I went to an early premiere of Ralph Breaks the Internet back when that came out a couple of years ago now. I think 2018. I am a Wreck-It Ralph just bananas fan. Everything about it, and I won't spoil that video for you if you want to go check that out. But I talk about all the reasons that I love it. I think it's a fantastic animated piece. I think it's a fantastic story. I think it's got a lot of heart. It pays homage to so many things I grew up with. It's phenomenal. Can't say enough kind things about Wreck-It Ralph. Come on, aliens. Quit it. So, we've been playing this for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes now. What do you think about this? Would you play this on your Apple TV or your Google device or whatever? And what's a fair price point for this kind of a version of Space Invaders? What's it worth? And I know that the author will get a chance to see this video, and he'll want to know your comments about it. I've been playing it loving playing it because it's Space Invaders. But he's a businessman trying to get going in the world. Vin Solo has joined us. Hey, welcome and hello. And also, let's see, just another question. Charlie said you'll ever own a Game Boy. Yeah, of course. I had a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Advance. I did the backlight mod on my Game Boy Advance because I'm that kind of nerd. Absolutely, yeah. Game Watch Mario Brothers came out. Yeah, so Chaz, we were just talking about that before you got here, so I won't. Hold on. Let me get to that in a second. We have another message. Well done, Earthling. This time you went same message as before, maybe? Yeah, same message as before. So they're going to go back up to the top. So, MC Murr says $2 to $5 is fair. Okay. Yeah, Chaz, I had said that it's captivating and interesting, but I'm not the audience for it partially because I'm a little older, Gen Xer. So the NES I was in high school. It doesn't have quite the nostalgia as like Atari and Pac-Man and stuff like that does for me. And two, it's a single function $50 handheld. It has single function that plays Mario and Mario 2, and it has a clock. But I already have that. I already have a way to take Mario in my hand with me on my little Android device. So Trucker said, "Did you know the Game Boy started in '89 and ended?" Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't have quoted that to you, but yeah, it was long-lived. For sure. Somebody's spending some time on Wikipedia. Good on you. Other thoughts for Kevin on this Space Invaders? The author? What do you think about it? What should be added? What should be deleted? What's a fair price point? for this version of Space Invaders. A rewrite with all these options. You know what? I haven't looked at in a while. Yeah, Chaz said forget it for $50. Well, they're going to come down eventually, but I mean, so more than just having, it's just Space Invaders here, right? So you have all this graphic options. You can play the black and white or color version. You can have the overlay on or off, the kind of moonscape. You can see behind here the changes. Show that cabinet on the side on or off. So you want to make it cleaner, you can do that. And all these effects. In fact, I'm going to turn off the effects because I had it with dots. And I'm going to turn the effects off so it's just solid again. There's a TV burn-in, which I tried and didn't care for it. Just some different graphical options, which is neat. Like, scan lines and stuff like that. Chaz said, seems the game is moving a tad slower than the original Space Invaders. You might be right. I had not made that observation until you pointed it out, but I still have it on black and white. I'm going to put it back on color. Where did I... color on, yeah. Yeah, Phoenix says also $2 to $5 is probably a good going rate for this. Honestly, I want to say I think it's priced quite a bit higher than that right now in the Windows Store. And I mentioned, full disclosure, Kevin gave me a free copy. So my views on the game itself are not tarnished by the price, but I think it's currently priced a bit higher, which... we were just talking about Mario, right? How many different ways can you play Space Invaders? This is great. All the options are good. The ability to drop in and out and do all the kind of graphical things is really... It's almost like a showcase for his programming prowess more than it is an augmentation of the experience of Space Invaders, Fern says, another story. I love to hear these. How do people find the channel? And by the way, I'm grateful that you watch. Thank you so much for being a subscriber and stopping by. It's infinitely flattering every time I hear somebody's watching or they click. So thank you. Fern says, I found this channel by looking for the My Arcade Contra review. Oh, so very recently. Then saw more and more videos. I'm a 90s kid, but love Gen X game and culture. Yeah, and by the way, too, the channel is called GenXGrownUp, and often people will comment. One of our most popular videos is... top 5 things I learned growing up as a Generation Xer. And so I get a lot of people that, hey, MC Murr, if you're still here, you can go ahead and block that hacker. Or maybe I can do it if I can get there. Oh, yeah. There's somebody just making a mess. There we go. We'll just hide the user. All right. That person is gone. Okay. As we were saying, one of the most popular ones is about top 5 things I learned growing up Generation X. And that's a very popular video. And so a lot of people will comment on that and go, so what's the official age to be a Generation Xer? And I don't think it matters. It does, but it doesn't. I'm not about tribal lines and you don't belong to the club. It's really about what was your experience growing up? You know what I mean? It's no problem, Mur. No, thank you. I actually had the right chat window open, so I got it. And there's another one. You can grab that one too if you would, MC Mur, somebody else being a nerd. I just think if you had the experience that typical Generation Xers had growing up in the 70s and 80s, then you identify, and that's fantastic. And so, this channel kind of centers around Gen X culture, but that's just it. It doesn't say... It's not that you're not invited if you weren't a Gen Xer. That's just our target, and the fact, Fern, that you identify with that and enjoy Generation X stuff. So do I. I relate. So yeah, we're simpatico, and I'm grateful to have you. Thank you, Murr, for your diligence and your helping out there. Yeah, all kinds of nerds in there. Yeah, just stay on top of whoever's messing around. I apologize. You can't fight the trolls fast enough, can you? Phoenix said the Space Invader 7 costs $1.99. Which store? It's in a lot of stores, so I'm very curious, where did you find it? In the Windows Store, I thought it was more. Yeah, I'm very worried. Thank you, Vinsolo. I've got my friends on the ball on the ball here, and Murr's taking care of it. He's one of the mods, so. MC Murr is in the chat, and if you guys watch here, if you don't subscribe to MC Murr, frankly, there's not a good reason not to. If you enjoy the stuff that we do, he has a slightly... We're not a Me Too channel. We don't do the exact same things. He's much more gaming focused. And just... And a lot of the things he covers are not my favorite thing, but his personality, his southern charm, and just his delivery, and he's wonderful. And you should check him out if you don't already. Head over to MC Murr's channel, give him a subscribe, and check him out when you get an opportunity. Thank you also for helping with the moderation here, Murr. I appreciate it. You probably just saved me 2 deaths in Space Invaders, not having to pause and do that. Let's see a couple of chats here. $2 worth it? Yeah, I think it's $12 in one of the game stores. Yeah, $11.99 in the Windows Store. That feels like way too much, in my opinion. Now, maybe that's a margin he has to set because of how much Windows carves out, but I don't think you could do it, so that's a bit much. Let's see. Vinsolo says, was the Pac-Man Pocket Console audio bad? You're talking about the credit card sized one? Is that the one you're talking about? Because if so, then yes. It was really bad. It was quite bad, yes. Oh, here's some more spamming. I'm not sure what people think they have to gain by that. Am I going to go and subscribe to them because they're, I don't know what they think. Man, Murray, you're on top of it. You're beating me to banning these people. Thank you so much. Too, what I highly recommend that I'm finding is awesome, that more so than just playing Space Invaders, is playing Space Invaders in a live stream and talking to a bunch of people that are like-minded, like I'm doing right now. I'm having so much fun that, like, the monotony of Space Invaders, I don't even care. It's really a blast. But on top of that, a faithful reproduction, right? Charlie says, if you could add a room to your house with an infinite budget, what would you use that room for? Well, I have a man cave already. I think a lot of people would say an arcade, but frankly, for me, I think an arcade is a waste of space because you can play every game in a main machine, which I have. And having an arcade is neat to walk into, but I think there are better uses of space, honestly. I see a lot of people in the Arcade 1-Up forums that buy those cabinets, turning their basements into arcades. Honestly, I think a dedicated theater with a projector is the best use of an extra room, in my opinion. Because you can play games on a giant screen. You can play... Vinsolo says the My Arcade Pac-Man. So not that one. The My Arcade Pac-Man, as I recall, was an NES ROM, and it just sounded off, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't say it was terrible. It's fine. It just kind of was... if you're used to Pac-Man, it sounded a little odd. Hey, George, how you doing, man? Welcome. Good to see you. Die. And George said he would do a creative studio and workshop. That's... George, you're going to make me change my answer here. I still think that a theater is the most useful use of that space because it's versatile. However, I have also long said that when my grown daughter finally is able to move out of the house, I'm going to convert her room into a production studio because the biggest stumbling block to creating content, YouTube content, is not having a dedicated space. Setting up the lights, setting up the tripod, digging out the microphone, all that stuff. I could produce 3 times the content if I didn't have to spend double the time tearing down and setting up stuff. We just died twice in a row, why don't you? So, yeah. I think maybe like a production studio might be a better use of the space for me at this moment. Oh, it's late night in Finland, so... Wow, from Finland. Vinsolo, thank you for stopping by. I'm very grateful that you're watching and stopped by the live stream and chatted. Thank you. Devil Waldo says, an important question, is a hot dog a sandwich? All right, let's get into it. Is a hot dog a sandwich? That's a great question. It depends on your criteria for a sandwich. Now, if you just say that a sandwich is meat or some food between 2 pieces of bread, then technically no, because the bun is a single piece of bread. But depending on your definition, if a sandwich is just some kind of food that is easy to hold because you have bread around it, then it is in fact a sandwich. So what you can do, and what I have done, and when I grew up in college and you run out of bread, you run out of hot dog buns, but you still have hot dogs, is you make a hot dog sandwich, which is you take the hot dogs and you slice them lengthways, and that turns them into long, skinny, flat hot dog pieces that you look like lunch meat between two pieces of bread. Now that is definitely a sandwich, but chemically it's the exact same as a regular hot dog bun and hot dog. So the line is blurry. I'm going to come down on the side of, yes, a hot dog is a sandwich, but I'm open to dissenting viewpoints. Discuss. Boom, blow it up. Charlie says if a hot dog is a sandwich, then a burger is a taco. No. A taco is a very different thing. Trucker Ford says, yes, I have the credit card size version of Oregon Trail, and I have the handheld size version. I have both of those. The credit card size one, we just was delivered in that care package from Super Impulse, and I have every intention of taking a look at it eventually. And as George can tell you, who is currently in the process of creating a video, getting started is often the toughest part. Again, back to that studio problem, right? But yeah, we intend to take a look at it. Absolutely, we do. If you're just joining us, let's take a second. George says, who cares? They all eat great. It's food. Get in my belly. So this version of Space Invader 7, again, if you're just joining us late, just a little recap. The author of this game, named Kevin, dropped us an email and said, hey, would you like to look at this? I saw your channel has a lot of arcade stuff. What interest do you have? And would you like to look at my game? And I said, sure. It's not on Steam. It's on lots of other platforms, though. So, in fact, if you go and look in the joystick options, here's a hint. Joystick, arcade controls, keyboard controls, Amazon TV remote controls, Google TV remote. And I know it's in the Windows Store. So you have a lot of opportunities to play this. And apparently I'm hearing from the chat that it's different prices in different places. On the Windows Store, it's a staggering $12, which feels like a lot to me for a remake of Space Invaders. Somebody else said it was $2 somewhere else in different places. Ford says, I think I heard some Shrek and you said, get in my belly. Well, it's Michael Myers. So I mean, Fat Bastard and Shrek are the same character. So, of course, get in my belly. It's the same guy. I mean, I don't do it well, but yeah. Is it a licensed game? Waldo says, that's a great question, and I don't see any evidence of it, which I suspect that it's called Space Invader, not Space Invaders, because it's not licensed, maybe? Is it somehow legally distinct from? I don't know. Yes, and other options include graphic options. You can turn the color on and off. You can the background, that overlay, you can turn on. Why would you turn it off? It's gorgeous. Show the cabinet. You get rid of this if you're so inclined. And then there are effects. You can do like kind of like scan lines or dot matrix stuff like that. I found that I didn't need it or care for it, so I turned it off. Yeah, Devil suggested, yeah, probably also not officially licensed. Yeah, truckers just less stock. If you could hack, you wouldn't go after someone's pay. Yeah, that's right. Why would you go after a nerd on YouTube? If you have hacking skills that go beyond spamming the chat, then I just do that. Just go get yourself some money. All right, back to shooting some aliens. I'm down to one, but one thing you'll notice if you just joined us recently is that UFOs are prolific in this version. I missed that one, but they hand them out like candy, so getting extra men is not all that tough. I've honestly been, I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been playing the same, I just died. I've been playing the same game since I started this stream. I had not started a new game. It's just that easy to get extra lives. But they tout several things that you can do here that you can quit the game and resume it right where you left off. So when you hit exit and it comes to this title screen, and when you bail out, you can save and quit, right? So you get out of it and you preserve where you're at. If you're mid-game, that's pretty cool. And you can see some hints of stuff. VR Game Studios, version 1.2.6.0. Legends of the Arcade suggests that he's doing more than this one. So this is one of them. But Space Invader 7, again, is just, it's not quite, but sort of Space Invaders. But I think if the Space Invaders copyright owners were so inclined, they could get a little froggy on this, but I won't tell if you don't. Let's see. Scott Hate Account will be hacking me soon. That's good news. Let's see what we have. Devil Wall says, looks good, though. It definitely does. Charlie asks, is a bagel a burger? We'll get to that. And Phoenix agrees. Yeah. So is a bagel a burger? Yes, it is, in fact, you say. Is a bagel a burger? Okay, so here's another thinker for the ages. Is a bagel a burger? Well, a bagel is not, it's just a bagel. A bagel, by definition, I mean, it doesn't have anything in it. You can put things on it and in it. A hamburger is meat inside of a bun, where a bagel is just this dough. So bagel is not a burger. No. You could use a bagel as a burger bun. It'd be very chewy, but a bagel in and of itself is not a burger. So I vote no. There you go. We're really, and through the course of this live stream, we're going to solve many of life's great debates, I trust. And if not us, then who? Right? I swear, I've never seen so many bots in a live stream before. I'm going to chalk that up to we're just getting so popular that why wouldn't you hack our puny little YouTube channel? UFO! Well, I timed it, but I hit an alien. All right. Oh, we have an update. Okay, so Devil Waldo says, okay, is a pizza really just an open-faced sandwich? Yes. Yes, it is. Unless you fold it in half, so into a crescent, and then it's a pita. No, it's not. Charlie says kinda. Yeah, kinda. No open-faced sandwich, though? Yeah. I mean, you have the bread, you have all the meat. Yep. So do you know there's speaking of open-faced pizza, or open-faced burger pizza, whatever. So maybe this is new to me. I just saw it the other day. But there's a pizza chain called Marco's. You may have heard of it. It's a growing chain, great pizza. Not as big as the big boys, but it's kind of up and coming. And they have crustless pizzas. So it's like a bowl, a pizza bowl. Like KFC famous bowls, right? But it's pizza. So it's like in a bowl, they have tomato sauce and cheese and pepperoni and meat and whatever and veggies, and they just bake it like a little casserole. So I guess it's like no carb, Atkins, gluten-free something. I haven't done it yet. I mean, I'm not averse to the idea, but I saw it the other day when I ordered a pizza, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. Oh, yes. Let me scroll up here past the dumb spam. We said, it's good to have fun. It is. This is hilarious. I'm having a great time, too. Thank you, Waldo. Lou Price says the Atari 2600 version is good back in the day. Of Space Invaders? Yeah, I played the living crap out of the... That was such a great translation from the arcade to the home, Space Invaders was. That was a killer app. That sold Atari 2600s. If you look I look back in Wikipedia articles and stuff, that was like a killer app. Atari had been out for a while. That thing sold a raft of new consoles that otherwise had not been sold. And pizza is pizza, Lou Price says. And so you're voting not open-faced sandwich. Okay. All right. I mean, I respect your opinion. I mean, you're welcome to be wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Krillin64. By the way, welcome, Krillin. I haven't seen you in a while. I say pizza is a pie. Some call them pizza pie. You know, if you go to New York, I mean, basically they say, hey, let's get a pie. I mean, they just call it pie. You know, or Chicago, where they're really proud of their pizza. They don't call it pizza, or they call it just have a pie. Charlie's asking about the Atari Hotel. Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, I'm nervous about what they're doing with the Atari brand and diluting it into something that, I mean, maybe it's going to be awesome. Maybe it's going to be blasphemous. I mean, it could go the way of Wreck-It Ralph, or it could go the way of Pixels, if you know what I mean. Like Pixels, that Adam Sandler, like, it had all the right pieces to be something nostalgic that you love, but it was just an absolute... Like, look, arcade games, and here's Adam Sandler being dumb. Like, it didn't have any heart to it, as opposed to... So, licensing Atari into hotels is a slippery slope. Like, I'm excited, and I want to see it, and I want to go. Yeah, Charlie's saying don't mention monstrosity. But, yeah, I mean, I want to see it and I want to go for myself, but I'm anxious about... I mean, Atari has done some questionable stuff with their brand in a cash grab recently. George still enjoyed Pixels. Good. I mean, if you find something you love, fantastic. I have not gone back to watch it again since I saw it in the theater because I just felt insulted as a lover of the original source material. I felt that they didn't treat it with the proper respect. That's just me. Krillin says, that is what seeps me watching your videos. Keeps me? Seeps me? I'm sure it's a typo that I can't figure out. I'm not criticizing you. I just can't figure it out. I'm sorry. Space Invaders was a must on the 2600. Absolutely, Waldo. Krillin says, I enjoy your videos. They are fun to watch. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I mean, every time we hear that, we're just infinitely grateful. I mean, we're doing stuff that junk we love, and we're so thankful that anybody's watching. And just we've had a great little just gradual growth over the 3 or so years we've been at this. And thank you. You've been around for a long, long time, and I'm thankful for sticking around. MC Murray says Adam Sandler is a total POS. Now, 50 First Dates was pretty good, but a lot of other stuff. He's like Jim Carrey to me. Like, I respect his ability, but he's a little, he lays it on too thick a lot of times for me. So, Keeps, got it. Sorry, I couldn't catch what it was. The Keeps. Thanks, Krillin. Let's see. MC Murr, not a funny bone in his dumb body. Charlie says it does have some good effects, though. The Space Invaders, you're saying? Yeah, it does. Waldo says Pixels wasn't the worst movie I've seen. That's true. No, it wasn't. Yep. Hey, Lou Price says arcade games like this one are our meditation. Get in the groove in 2600 Asteroids. Oh, yeah. 2600 Asteroids? Are you kidding me? Absolutely. Yeah. There's a homebrew Asteroids that's also pretty awesome, but the original 2600 one was pretty awesome. Stowaway Kid says, what is up? I think he actually said, what's up? So I'll say it properly. Like a Budweiser commercial. So thanks for that. Those of you just joining the stream, we had some burning questions that you might want to chime in on and give us your opinion. There was a question, is a hot dog a sandwich? That's question 1. We also, someone asked, is a bagel a hamburger? Which I think we pretty solidly put that in the ground. And then there was a question about, is pizza an open-faced sandwich? And that one is a thinker. I quite like that one. Space Rocks! That's exactly right. That's the one I was trying to think of. That is a great homebrew. That thing is awesome. Yep. Charlie said Pixel has some good effects. No debate. And I shed a tear at the full, the giant Donkey Kong layout that they had, the effects in that movie, but in the end it wasn't enough to redeem it for me because it just... It's like Battleship the movie. It's like, why did you do that to Battleship? Pixels was like that for classic games to me. It's like, why did you do that with with these classic games? Boom. Take a breather here. Oh, Pixels had some nice effects, of course. Yeah, naturally. Let me scroll back a little bit. I missed some stuff. Krillin says, I can see the fun you're having making videos. The other thing I like about your channel is you're a great guy and nice. Wow, you don't know that. I could be a raging asshole and I just fake it for the camera. George is here. He'll confirm that I probably am, so that's okay. Thank you. It's weird. Well, again, MC Murr is here, and George can tell you, also being a creator here on GXG, is that doing this is a weird one-sided social thing. It's like I'm talking to you and talking to you and talking to you, and you don't get any feedback in the short term. So you produce something that takes, a 10-minute video takes 6-7 hours to produce sometimes, depending on what you're doing, between shooting and editing and setting up and tearing down and thumbnails and tags and everything. And you don't know until much later if it resonates. And so for you to say, that we come across as friendly and nice, and thank you. I mean, we try to be, and it's flattering. I'm not going to beat that into the ground, but it's very flattering. Thank you so much. I mean, we're all very grateful to hear that kind of stuff. All right, let's catch up with what we got. I like pixels better when I missed something. I scrolled. Du-du-du. The short film was better. Oh, you know what? The short film was just like a graphical demonstration. It didn't. Based on that short film, I thought Pixels was going to be much better. You know. Lou Price, Pixels is an anagram of rubbish movie with no humor or characters you care for. Thank you. Yep. Absolutely. Everything you said. If I put in a GIF that says this, I'm pointing at what you said. Yeah. Krillin says you're welcome. Thank you. Can't wait for the 29th. TCM is having a reshowing the Blues Brothers. Oh, Blues Brothers. Can you? I don't know if you can't see. Over here, over there. This is a Blues Brothers poster. You know what? Here, I'm going to wreck the camera shot. If I could do it. Can you see up there? That's my Blues Brothers poster. It lives in my room all the time. I love the Blues Brothers. Now my camera's wrecked. I can't get it back. I'll fix it. Here we go. Yeah, one of my all-time favorites. Blues Brothers is one of the first VHS that I ever owned. I owned it myself. Storeway Kids, do you like Pixels or Wreck-It Ralph better? Come on. Absolutely Wreck-It Ralph. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Yeah, I saw, somebody said, talking about the 40th anniversary of Blues Brothers. I had a chance to go and see Blues Brothers in an old theater here in downtown Jacksonville. And they had some Jake and Elwood impersonators, and they had a car. They had a car with a big bullhorn on top and everything that was parked outside. It was great. And they just, before the movie, they came out and did like a dance on the little stage and the proscenium. And then we just all watched the movie. And when you go to see a movie like that, don't go to watch the movie because it's like Rocky Horror. Everyone is quoting every single line the whole way through, and it's just like a celebration of the movie. Don't go if you haven't seen it because you're not going to hear it. All you just hear is everybody go, "We're on a mission from God." It's just this constant, everybody saying everything in the movie and you can't hear it. Yeah. Okay, I was playing some Space Invaders. Let's get back to that if you're here for Space Invaders. Sorry. I'm just having a really good time hanging out and chatting, so I pause periodically for that. I gotta... if you joined late, the first 45 minutes of the stream, I think I played one game and got this 25,000 point score. Now, granted, I did pause periodically, but it's not tough to play. So the nice thing is you can pause it and come back to it right where you left off. So that's a nice plus that you couldn't do with just a straight ROM, right? Well, easily. You can do save states, but not easily, right? You can't just shut it and reopen it, if you know what I mean. UFO! Orange whip, 3 orange whips. Yeah, I see over there. Who was that? Lou Price. Yeah, man. Blues Brothers. Oh, we have on our agenda one day. We'll do an entire episode of our podcast all about the Blues Brothers. I have lots to say about the Blues Brothers. That film is just, and I enjoy it on layers that. I mean, some people enjoy it because they're huge, rhythm and blues and music fans. Some people enjoy it because they're Jim Belushi fans. Some people enjoy it because they're SNL fans or Aretha Franklin fans or whatever. People enjoy it for different reasons. We got both kinds, country and Western. I mean, there's so much to like about that movie. And it's Krillin, like you were saying about our channel, it's fun and light kind of thing. And that Blues Brothers is like that. They're on a serious mission, but the movie is not serious. It's so much fun. Someone commented earlier, I apologize, can't remember who, that I think this runs a little slower than the authentic Space Invaders, and that might be. Maybe that's why I'm doing so well, because it's just going in slow motion, and I'm old, so my brain goes in slow motion. That may well be true. Oh, okay, let me catch up on the chat. Have you heard of the Ecto-1 Transformer? I have. Yep. Let's see. I seen the surviving Back to the Future DeLorean. It was at Universal Studios in the mid-90s. One of the originals? Yeah. Tommy Gunn, you never saw what? You never saw the Blues Brothers? Tell me that's not true. It's got some pickup. No catalytic converter, so it runs good on regular gas. It'll do. I see the aliens start so far down already in this game. Now, Waldo, I think they start so far down because I'm so far into the game. periodically it does jump back up. George also concurs. He thinks it's a little slower. Murr, got to run. Hopefully George can continue mod duty. Thank you for your help. Thank you for stopping by. Again, if you don't already watch MC Murr, hop over to his channel, please. Great guy and great content creator. Well worth your time. Tommy Gunn, you got to fix that. Oh, you got to see some Blues Brothers, my friend. It's, do yourself the favor. It's getting a little, I think at the end it speeds up to normal speed here. Oh, this seems a little slow still. Come on. I missed him 20 times. There we go. Oh, so yeah, periodically they will go higher after one of those screens where they say, "You beat us, you earn respect." Says the asshole janitor has seen the Goonies. I have plans to do something about that, George. Working on the Goonies, trying to fix it. But now at this point, it's got to be an event. I can't just watch it in a vacuum. I've got to watch it and document the event, right? I have actually created some materials for watching the Goonies, turning it into a video. It's in the future. Planning on it. The stream is lagging for me. Sorry to hear that. All right, they're coming. Getting too low, too fast. I got to take care of this. You pay attention to the game for a second, then we'll get back to the chat. Probably too many sprites on screen. Yeah, that'll lag it. That's very demanding. Tommy, you're another viewer that you are always quick on the gun. You see our videos early on. Where are you located geographically? Are we in the same time zone, or...? Yeah, it is just that easy, George, I know. But, again, I'm trying to... I don't want to waste the experience. What if there's a really cool revelation that I make and it's not captured for my own posterity? I did download it, so I do have it now, so I can watch it. I'm prepared. I'm ready. And that ought to count for something. Yeah, Charlie, I saw your comment earlier. Yeah, I said yes. We definitely heard of the DeLorean. Oh, I'm sorry, the DeLorean Transformer. No, you said Ecto-1 before. I did not see that, but I guess it does not surprise me if they would do that. It's pretty generous with points. 100? What a ripoff. Nevada. All right. Let me take a peek here at the chat. Charlie's in Arizona. Krillin said, I saw a reshowing of Animal House in theaters. Oh, from Fathom Events. Yeah. You know, I do Fathom Events. I do whenever they do one of those live Rift Tracks things. I go do those sometimes. Those are fun. Rift Tracks is not like drop down funny, but it's funny. It's enjoyable. I like going to those. Boom. Devil Waldo saying, what about Short Circuit? Yeah, that's Johnny Five, right? I mean, that's cute. I saw. There's two of them, I think. I saw them both. I think most of us did growing up in that era. Tommy says I started watching back at the 10 best things I learned growing up video, and never since. Strider Hydra. Hey, welcome to the stream. There's a Maverick Top Gun Transformer. Boy, they're just jumping into all the Transformers from kind of. They do all of them. You do like a Starsky and Hutch car, an A-Team van. Just keep them coming. Maybe they already do. I don't know. They're already chewing up my shield. That's not appreciated. Come on, aliens. Most I've ever had is 4 extra lives, but that's more than I ever had in the real arcade game, I'll tell you that. Boom! That's... And you know, I played so much Space Invaders that I developed a pretty good sense of how to hit that UFO. I say as I miss it. It's just, I mean, if you shoot 8 million of them over your lifetime, you get pretty good at timing that. And since they're giving me one every, it feels like every 15 seconds or so. 4 lives. What do we got? in the chat said, wasn't allowed to watch Animal House back in the day. Well, it's good parenting. They probably shouldn't have let you. Short Circuit, good for what it is. Yeah, it's just bubblegum movie. Yeah, it's fine. What's next? The Dumb and Dumber car? What if the Doctor Who Transformer? And Ordo Necro, welcome. So what 80s arcade shooter deserves a movie adaptation? Oh, George, here's somebody after your heart. He'd like to hear the story woven around Galaxian. Now, see, that's another one of those slippery slopes. It's like, what if it's not good? Then you tarnish Galaxian. Devil Waldo has introduced yet another ponderous. All right, I gotta pause and discuss. Okay, are Cheetos chips? Okay, are Cheetos chips? So, in my mind, a chip is a either reconstituted or shaved, crispy slice of vegetable. It could be potato. It could be. It could be any other vegetable. They make not okra. Like sweet potato chips and vegetable chips and stuff like that. But Cheetos is not even. It's like a congealed flavoring that they blow air into. So I'm going to come down on the side of no. Cheetos, cheesy poofs are not chips. George says they're corn puffs. I would debate there's any corn in them, but I think you're technically right. They call them corn puffs. Yeah, Tommy, that's a good example. The Mario Brothers movie, that was. I don't know. You run the risk. Charlie says puffs are not chips. Thank you. I agree. Crunchy is complicated. No, it's either way. They're not chips. I'm sorry. Now, see, if you live in England, though, I think that supports our stance that chips mean potato, like French fries, right? When you're in Europe, chips means French fries. So that further reinforces that chips stand for slices of a vegetable, often potato. That's true of chips in Europe. It's true of potato chips. It's true of vegetable chips. I assert it's not true of Cheetos or Cheesy Poofs. So I'm open to other viewpoints, but that's my opinion. That's my camp. These guys, quit chewing up my shields. I'm not a fan. Come on. Too much. Then there's tortilla chips. Yeah, now that's corn chips. Now see, that is sliced vegetable. Granted, it's not sliced. Again, I said it reconstituted, right? Yes, vegetable chips are not slices of vegetables. You're right, but they are pureed vegetable reconstituted into chips often when they are chips. They could be vegetable sticks. I know it's a thing. That's not chips. That's sticks. I agree. I like getting into this kind of philosophical debate. UFO! They got lucky with Sonic. I've not seen the new Sonic movie. I heard okay things about it. Is it worth watching? I just sat there waiting to get shot. What a dummy. Yeah, don't chase him. You gotta chase him to the right across the screen. That's just begging for death. I have no... Ow! Now I have one shot. Ha-ha! Take that, alien! Let's see. Lou Price says the documentary about the Atari ET being buried in Mexico is great. So I assume that you're talking about the Atari Game Over real documentary. But I'm very proud to happily plug, and maybe George can go find a link and put it in the chat, but I was able to get one of those Alamogordo ETs, and I did my own little documentary of opening it and framing it and talking about its history. If you're interested in the Alamogordo Atari dig, yeah, you should watch our video about me getting an Atari ET from the dig. I spent too much for it, but yeah. John likes debate? I certainly do. Sonic broke the video game movie curse. It was funny. Was it? Okay. If you stopped at a gas station, ask someone to get you a bag of chips, and they came out with Cheetos, would you be mad? Now, that's two different questions. No, I love Cheetos, but that doesn't make them chips. Just because I'm not mad doesn't mean they're chips. Like if I asked somebody for a hug, and instead they gave me a back rub, hey, back rub, rock star, but It's not a hug. It's something different. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's John H. is here. Hey, welcome. John says Cheetos are manufactured by blending corn and water. The germ of the corn is removed. Well, this Bill Nye is in the house. Okay, the germ of the corn is removed to prevent spoiling. The germless corn is then ground into cornmeal, according to Wikipedia. Yes, but to that point, it is not a chip, I would say. Now, we have corn chips. That's not a Cheeto. Strider Hydra says cow chips, worst flavor ever. I have no debate. Somebody commented that the aliens start very low. After this intermission screen, they go back up high, and they claim to be getting more difficult. I didn't see it. I didn't see it getting tough. Seemed fine to me. Do battle with our enhanced. Yeah, they're... He did admit that he looked it up on Wikipedia, but you know what? He gave attribution, so... John, though, does the Wikipedia article say if they are chips or not? Is there a definitive answer there? Someone's texting me. I hope it's nobody in this chat that desperately needs to reach me because it's in my pocket and on silent. Oh, Rob Suave says, what version of Space Invaders is this? Yeah. So it's no version of Space Invaders, and it's no console. So great question. If you're just joining the chat or joining the stream, I should update you on what's going on. So this is called Space Invader 7. You'll notice it's not called Space Invaders, so I suspect it's not officially licensed. But the author of the game, it's distributed on Xbox, it's on the Windows Store, it is on, looks like Google TV, and what else did I see in there? Apple TV and some other stuff. And it is a clearly Space Invaders, but not quite named exactly like it, version. And the author of it reached out to me via email and said, hey, you are a nerd that covers video game crap from that era. Would you like to look at Space Invaders 7? And I said, yeah. And he sent me a key for it, and so that's what I'm looking at now. So I'm just playing it on the PC now on Windows 10. It's on, let's take a pause here, just for the benefit of Rob Suave and anybody else who just recently showed up. It has lots of options, but still at its heart, it's pretty much just Space Invaders. Don't tell Bally or Taito, but that's pretty much what it is. You have all these graphic options where you can like change the color on and off. You can change that moonscape on and off. You can show the cabinet on the side here or not, up to you what you want to show. And there are all these effects, and the effects are like, kind of like pixel-y or horizontal vertical lines. There's aliasing, which I would never do. There's some TV burn-in that kind of look terrible to me. But across the board, what this is, it is a version of Space Invaders that was written from the ground up. It's not Space Invaders, it's not a ROM, but it was made to be on these other platforms and named, oddly, Space Invader 7. So, yeah. So thanks for asking. I had not mentioned that in a while for a lot of people that just joined. What I've heard, something was tolerable at best. I'm behind. Lou Price says maize ain't chips. Amen. That's right. Are wallets just holders for your money? I mean, yeah. Next. Imagine Space Invaders. Lou Price says, imagine Space Invaders from an alien's point of view. Like some guy clicking on, shuffling along, and waiting for the inevitable. Yeah, like the futility of life. That's us. We're all just trudging along through our life, waiting to die. It's kind of metaphysical, isn't it? I don't think that's what life is about, but I said it anyway. John says, it's listed as the cheese curl as a product type. We have been vindicated by Wikipedia. If it's on Wikipedia, it's a fact that's known across the board, universally. No debate. So yeah, so according to Wikipedia and the editors there, it is a corn, what did you say? A cheese curl. Gotcha. With apparently de-germed corn something, according to what you said earlier. Also, joystick options hints at every place you can see it. I keep saying Apple. Amazon TV, Google TV. So I've not seen all these platforms and played it on those other places, but it's a cross-platform game on lots of things, just not on like Steam and kind of the mainstream. It's on, I say mainstream. And priced differently on the different platforms, I understand. Some people were poking around and looking for me. On the Windows Store, so before you look it up, what is a fair price for this game to play it? I mean, it's Space Invaders. You can play Space Invaders a lot of ways. It has the graphical options, which are awesome, and it has the ability to stop and resume at any point. So, what's a fair price for this? I've had people say between $1 and $5. Developers need to eat too, so I can see like a $3 to $5 thing I can understand. I mean, for $1, yes, it's no brainer, but I think that's probably underselling it. And I know that Kevin will take a chance to watch this stream, and he'll want to know our suggestions and our comments and our feedback on his game. Why else would a creator give a key to a nerd like us than to get feedback? And he deserves it. Let's see what else we got. There's some chat up here. What did I miss? Okay. Have you heard of Stylophone? I've not. Dryerlint, welcome. Dryerlint says, if an orange is orange, then why does a vest have no sleeves? 42. Next question. Opinion on Tron. Tron is amazing. Next question. Yeah, Flynn's Arcade and just the aesthetic of Tron and the cinematic history in Tron and using computer graphics and all the computer graphics they didn't use, where it was all just those harsh lighting and luma keying and. Tron, especially the original Tron. Man, I like the sequel. It's fine. But there's something about the original and the dirtiness of it, the grittiness of it, the limited technology. Well, we've talked a lot on our podcast about how so many old things, old games, old movies, old whatever, that were limited by the technology required a bit of ingenuity to get the desired effect. And that has its own appeal in many ways, I think. And so the original Tron is like that for me. It's it just feels neat. That's very scientific, I know. I think you know what I mean. Let me go back to the stream here. George said $3 sounds fair. Yep, I would agree. One of your favorite movies of all time, Tron, as well, George, for sure. Charlie's asking about the Mega Man Pocket player. He says pocket operator. I think he means pocket player. I have seen that. I don't have one yet. Also a Street Fighter one. Yes, I did see those in an ad. I haven't seen them in the stores yet, though. John says a fair price would be slightly more than Space Invaders 6 since it is newer. No, what you do is you drop the price of Space Invaders 6 and you put in 7 at the old price point. That's how marketing works. Tommy's talking to George. Krillin says 2 to 5 for this is good. Depends on what the platform takes as their share. Yeah, I suspect the variable prices across the board they vary based on what the cut is for the author. Hey Anthony, what's Space Invaders 7 different from Space Invaders 1? It would look the same to me. Yeah. If you're just joining us, Anthony, I won't go through all this again. If you can rewind a little bit if you want. I've said it several times. This is not Space Invaders. It's Space Invaders 7. It is a rewrite of Space Invaders on modern platforms. And I think that's a valid question. I mean, something like this hits the market and you're like, who's it for? What's the market? Who wants this game? Well, if you like Space Invaders, odds are you already have ways of playing Space Invaders. What does this give me that I don't already have when I play Space Invaders via the methods I currently do? Which is, if I just count the things I purchased to let me legally play Space Invaders, I probably have 7 different units, probably, handheld and otherwise, that would allow me to play Space Invaders. What does this have? I did. What does this have that the others don't? And that's kind of the question, and I think that's where price comes into play. What are you giving me for that price that I don't already have 4 or 5 other methods? And so Anthony, to your question, how is it different? It has some graphical options. I can go in and set some graphics. I can set some lighting effects and that kind of thing, and change how I want it to look. I can make it full screen or not, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, it is on the sly. It's Space Invaders, but I suspect it's named as such to be legally distinguishable from Space Invaders. Not public domain. Hey, T2, how are you? Let me catch up on some of this. Yeah, what does the actual Space Invaders cost to play? Well, now, the actual Space Invaders cost $0.25 to play, but keep in mind, if you're I always think of, when I look at phone apps, for example, I see a phone app as $1, and I see some people go, $1? But I think if I would play it 4 times, that's 4 quarters. That's what I play in an arcade. If I'm going to play it 4 or 5 times, then $1 is a great deal for a phone app. Even if I only play it 4 times, I've gotten my money's worth. Like if it looks interesting and I would walk up to it in an old arcade, take a quarter out of my pocket and put it in there, then it's worth the quarter. If I would do that at least 4 times, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let me catch up. So, George, nice Disney props documentary episode on Tron. Oh, is there? Oh, send me a link. I didn't see that. I want to see that, George. Tommy says, kind of got me hooked on computers and stuff. Tron did? Yeah. Yeah, it was a watershed thing when Tron came out. It was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. I think media focused more on the technological feats than it did on the story. But the story was, it was a personal story. It was touching. There's nothing bad about. In hindsight, there's nothing bad about Tron. There's stuff bad about Tron if you want to analyze it, but emotionally, there's nothing wrong with Tron. Let's see. Will you be picking up the gold Pac-Man micro? Yes! Yes! If I can. If I'm able. I'm still looking for the gold 40th anniversary basic fun. I've yet to find one at a Walmart. Yeah, I'm a sucker for Pac-Man and Atari. That's just going to happen. Tron Deadly Discs, Lou says, a good 2600 cart. I remember playing that quite a bit. I remember the Tron Deadly Discs, the characters in that look so much like the stick figures from Intellivision that it was confusing. I wasn't confused, but it was like, how did they get Intellivision graphics on my Atari? Because they had that animation, kind of walk animation that looked like the sports titles in Intellivision. Yeah. Let's see. Let me catch up a bit. So much stuff. I'm sorry I can't keep up. Love the film score of Tron, Strider says. Yeah. Hey, Burley. I'm definitely more of a fan of Mario 2. A classic and more original. More a fan than what? Maybe I might have missed something in that. Oh, than Sonic. I gotcha. Sonic than Mario. Yeah, you know what? I definitely think... So I don't have any any specific attachment to to Mario or Sonic, because I didn't have an NES or a Genesis. Neither. I went straight from Atari to a computer. I jumped over those and came in later. And so, but I think overall, Sonic is amazing in technologically what it does, but Mario just has so much more character, so much more personality, it seems to me. That's my opinion, but all right. Let's give this one more little go here. So again, if you're just joining us, we're playing Space Invader 7. We're going to give it one more play. It is a game that is released on multiple platforms. It's on Windows Store. It's on Amazon and Google TV and stuff like that. And the author sent us a key to give it a shot, and I want to share it with you, and that's what I'm doing right now. So let's put in a coin and get this party started. What about Robotron? All-time favorite? Easy. Oh, who we got? We got Rombo Dead Fish. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I said hello to you yet. Great to have you here. Yeah, Robotron is great. Dual stick shooter. The mother of all dual stick shooters, in my opinion. Mo at GenXGrownUp here is just a bonkers fan over Robotron. If you look back not too long ago, he did a video where he built from scratch a lighted marquee frame for his Robotron marquee. Well, reproduced marquee, I will say. Whoop, 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 whoop. Lou Price says, I can't get on with Sonic. It's like Defender. The player hasn't got time to react. I feel the same way about Sonic. It's too fast for me. And it's not just because I'm old. I felt that way when I was younger, too. Robotron, not the same with the arcade sticks. Fact. Karate Master, same thing. Yayar Kung Fu, similar kind of thing. One stick, but again, you need the stick. You can't just do it with a keyboard or anything. Yep. Or Yar Kung Fu, however it's pronounced. Yep. Yeah, I think that's why Mo almost exclusively plays Robotron when he visits my house, because I have the dual sticks and the cabinet. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I got a little sniffles. Get a little touch of the COVID. Not true. Not true. Shouldn't joke. There's little sniffles. Let's see. Tommy's turning 50 next Monday. Happy in advance birthday, Tommy. Very, very happy to you. It's been nice to get to know you virtually through chats and things like that. Yeah, Yar Kung Fu. How did you pronounce it? I called it Yar. But there's just one button, but it had all the different kind of, fetal and star and all those different, unlike Street Fighter, it really had differentiation in the characters. Like they had huge different fighting things. Different fighting styles and... Yar, okay, yeah. Well, probably because you weren't young, you were more educated than me. That's probably correctly pronounced. Ye Old Kung Fu? I don't think it's called that, Doug. That would be Ye Oldie Kung Fu. It's like a vintage store where you get mustache wax. I can't believe how often they throw UFOs at me. It's just like giving away, like, the high score. You cannot compare a real Space Invader's high score to the Space Invader 7 high score because it's too easy. I'm just popping them one after the other. Now, so many things. I'll take a moment to observe all the things that the author got right about Space Invaders. So the way that the shields tear up in that very kind of like rough version, it's not just a clean cut, it's little jagged edges. The way that the baseline, that bottom green line, gets blown up by the bullets, as it should. The way that the bullets blow up when they exit the top of the screen. The sound effects, the sound effects have to have been sampled. Oh, hold on, here's some... According to Wikipedia... I Aru Kung Fu. Not for me. I'm sticking with Yar Kung Fu. Tempest was mine. Tempest was your go-to? Yeah, Tempest without a spinner is another one where the spinner, the controller, is 75% of the game. Without a spinner, don't play Tempest. In my humble opinion. Oh, goodness. Burley says, hey, GenXGrownUp, did you know that for the PS4, they released a 30th anniversary collection of the Street Fighter franchise? It brings the 12 arcade games, all these Street Fighter 3. I did not know that. It doesn't surprise me necessarily. Good. I've bought several platforms. I bought several of the Mortal Kombat collections. It has like MK1, 2, 3, and 3 Ultimate. Yeah, George loves playing Mortal Kombat with me. It's one of his favorite things to do. I said, awaiting the snarky comment from George. Like, I'm not awesome at Mortal Kombat, but I'm just good enough to frustrate the average person. So, like, if I play someone good, nothing. But George says not, right? Are George and Mo still waiting for their copies? They may be. I'm waiting for it to go on sale. Problem is, Mortal Kombat 11, they're still supporting and monetizing that thing, so it hasn't come down in price, really. I'm thinking the winter sale, it might drop in price, in which case, George will get Mortal Kombat in his stocking finally. Alright, let's finish this whack and then catch up on the chat. Burley says, MK, awesome franchise, still played on my Sega Genesis. Yeah. I was just on the Xbox 360, they had UMK3. And that was basically the game I played when I wasn't playing something else. I played that so much. It was a good version. It had online multiplayer. Phenomenal. Good stuff. What's your opinion of the Chuck E. Cheese bankruptcy? Sign of the times. Arcades. Tough row to hoe. Current lockdown situation. This is 2020 is the last time you want to be in a nasty ball pit. Let me tell you. So there's no way that you know who I feel for in COVID is like through no fault of their own. Golden Corral. Now Golden Corral is questionably called food. Not a huge fan of it, but man, the fact that they were all buffet and the fact that buffets are just not happening. Their business is just dead. They're going to be gone, dead. I mean, worse than theaters. I mean, theaters could try. They can rent out the whole theater's $99 and space you, but there's no safe way to do a buffet. So I think Chuck E. Cheese kind of got some of that splash by, and more than just a regular restaurant. Yeah, people weren't there for the pizza. You're right, George. Lou says, I envy you guys stateside because you can walk into a Walmart and pick up an arcade 1-up 3. Yeah, that's true. In the UK, yeah, I'm sorry about that. And I've seen, I don't know why, Arcade 1-Up is doing so well. I don't know why they don't expand their distribution, because there's clearly a market. I maybe, well, like, I think maybe like in Japan, no market, because arcades never died in Japan, right? So, I mean, there's some market, but not as much. Whereas in the US, and it would be true in the UK too, they just ride that wave of nostalgia. Why wouldn't you? But yeah, I wonder if it's just a distribution thing for them. Charlie loves Golden Corral. Yeah, well, I hope you remember it fondly, because I don't think they're going to survive. Trucker Ford's a millennial. Awesome. Welcome. Original Tron is unique at the time, Tommy says. Yeah. So Burley says, a good thing about this game, it definitely replicates Space Invaders to a home console. Yes, for sure. They added those little references to the arcade game on here. Yep, all that. Yep, all that true. George Lou Price, not impressed with the arcade 1-Up cabinets. You know, that's... Me neither. They're like too big to be collectible and too expensive to be small and too something. It's like the Game & That's just like the Game & Watch. At the beginning of this chat, we were talking about the Mario Game & Watch. And I think it's a lot of the same feelings for me, that the arcade 1-Ups are a single function box to play. Okay, single function, maybe they have 4 or 5 games on them, or 10 games on them. But there are other ways to get that done more cost efficiently. But the itch they scratch for people, not like myself and like George, as he just said, I think the reason that they're doing so well is because they're turnkey. They're out of the box. People that go, oh, I remember that game. They can buy it, take it home, IKEA it together, and boom, they're playing Galaxian. Because they don't have to find a ROM or download something or whatever. They plug it. It's an appliance. So I understand the appeal. For a hobbyist, I don't think that same appeal. Hobbyists buy them to mod. Really, they buy them. And if you're going to buy something to mod like that, I would buy something more durable. Yeah, I think I'm with George. I'm not really impressed with them. I love that they're doing well. I like what they're doing. But we have seen some evidence of stuff we reviewed on the channel that they just don't... For the audience they're trying to serve, they're a little half-stepping in some places. They had trouble with that Partycade I had a whole series on. Yeah, they had some issues with that. Yeah, let me catch up on some stuff. 325 pounds a unit. Yeah, and that's pushing like $500 US. That's... George said the problem with Arcade 1-Up is the size. I'm old, fat, stupid. The smaller size hurts my back and neck. And even with the riser, they have the 1-foot riser, it's still too short for me, you know? Yeah. Lou says, I'm building my own Raspberry Pi machine. 3,000 games. Yep, absolutely. Yep. For just, 100 pounds, no problem. And Burley says, okay, I have a question. What movie do you prefer? The Thing from 82? The Thing from Another World, Howard Hawks from 51? The 82 Thing is... That was always the Thing for me. You know, honestly, I think I only saw the original Thing once. So it's probably not a super fair comparison because I don't have it well in my head. But I hold the 82 version in such high esteem that going back and watching the old one, it would have... I mean, in my mind, 82 is the original because it's the one I saw first. You know, people say, who was your favorite Doctor in Doctor Who? And I think largely it has to do with who was the one you first were introduced to Doctor Who with. I think for films, it's that way too. If you saw the remake first, for you, that's the original. In your mind, for your frame of reference, that's the one that everything's compared to. Come on. Oh my goodness, I missed him. That's terrible. That's just reprehensible. Oh, talking about the quarter arcades. Is that the numbskull stuff? You don't know how many times I've had one of those numbskull quarter arcades in my shopping cart and just couldn't push the buy now button. They're just too expensive. I think they're worth it, but they're just too expensive for a single game. Just a little too much. Tommy goes the emulator route. So do I, Tommy. Trucker said the best arcades for the quarter. Yeah, he's talking about those. Yeah. Now the Replicate, I have the Replicate Centipede. It's awesome. George is working on a review for the Replicate Dragon's Lair. Awesome. He's there we go. George is just bringing that up. Yep. Yeah, Doug, you're talking about the Raspberry Pi stuff, and I've never gone that route for emulation, but largely not because I don't like it, but because it has that limitation. It reaches games after about 93 or so, and a Raspberry Pi just can't handle a lot of those later games. And a lot of the games I want to play start to fall in that, the tail end of arcade stuff. Like your Smash TV and the later iterations of MK and like the super like Street Fighter Alpha, that kind of thing. And I think the Pi just can't quite keep up with the later games, and that's why. But I mean, if you're talking, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Frogger, the Raspberry Pi for emulation is amazing. I'm so impressed with the Pi. I just bought my first Pi just less than 2 months ago. And I was stunned with how easy it was to work with, and it's still kind of a mystery to me because I just followed instructions on a FAQ, but it was easy to do. He says Dreamcast and N64. Yeah, Lou says, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't imagine it would play at all. I'm surprised it boots up. And you could probably play some NES. I bet SNES does okay most of the time until you get into Mode 7 stuff. Then I bet it could be a problem. Charlie's asking, what's your opinion of Cuphead? I think it's difficult for difficult's sake, and that damages a lot of the fun for me in Cuphead. I think the art style is revolutionary, and more things would be served to use that hand-drawn art, and I think that's amazing. I would love to see a game that doesn't pride itself like on Meat Boy of just how punishing can I be. I think people tend to think that a punishing game means it's retro. That's not true. Retro games just were a normal difficulty. They didn't hold your hand. And I think Cuphead thought it was being retro by being super difficult, and it actually damaged the enjoyability of the game for me. So, Jesus said you should review the Pac-Man 40th Anniversary Arcade Machine Arcade 1-Up. I have heard people say that over and over. My problem is that I don't have an infinite supply of money to do that, and I don't have any place to put it. So if I bought it, I would have to buy it and then get rid of it. But I've had multiple people ask about reviewing it. What about it is so special that people are asking for a review of it? I'm really curious why. Centipede or Millipede? Same game for my money. Cuphead TV show? Great! It won't be difficult. I'll enjoy it. That's fine. The Quartercade. I've not seen the Pac-Man Anniversary Trucker, but I told you, the Quartercade stuff from Numbskull, I just, they're great, but they're expensive. Playing Lunar Lander the other day, what a game. Now, if you could ever find an original Lunar Lander, now they have the thrust, it actually had this giant lever that you threw. It was beautiful. The thrust was, and it had a huge woofer in it, so when you did the thrust, it just sounded amazing. Got your Quartercade signed? Wait. They're all signed by the creator? Every one of them? What are you saying? Death. I'm up to 5 ships. What do we got? Coming up on 6 p.m. Eastern time here. I think shortly after 6, I'm going to put a fork in this live stream and call it done, I think. I've been at it for almost 2 hours we've been on. For a game that I didn't think would have much legs, but you know why I've been on the stream so long? So many great people engaged here in the comments. I'm enjoying the chat as much or more than the game, so you're to blame if you're here chatting with me for making me go so long. No, they're not all signed. Okay, you got yours signed. Okay, good. Because you piqued my interest. Which one do you like better, Back to the Future or Ghostbusters? Ouch! I don't know. I can't pick a favorite. It's like picking your favorite child. Both of those have so many fond memories for me of my first exposure, and yeah, I can't pick a favorite there. I'm up to 6 extra lives now. I'm going to need them because they're crushing me fast. Oh man, they're working at it. They're trying to mess me up. He's shooting through his own shield. He's a maniac. What we got? I would hate to have your first experience with the Thing universe as the Thing 2011. There was another remake in 2011? Well, that goes to show you. I didn't pay attention to it. Was there really? Where's John H? To Wikipedia, my man. I need to know more about this Thing remake in 2011. The professor is in. He's the man who cleared us up on corn chips earlier, so we got to clear the air on this Thing remake. God dang it! A prequel to the 80s version. Really? Oh, okay. All right. Lou, what are you doing? What are you opening that can of worms for? Ghostbusters or the remake, The Girl Ghostbusters? I got some opinions on The Girl Ghostbusters. And the thing is, I would like it. I would. But there's absolutely... The premise was the problem in the remake. Was that 2018, 19, 17, whatever, remake Ghostbusters? That would have been a fantastic movie if it was a sequel. It happened later. They had all of these great actors from the original Ghostbusters in there as just stupid throwaway cameos, just as fan service. More meaningful would have been Ghosts Are Gone. They have been around for a while. Ghostbusters is if it even exists at all, it's one little franchise somewhere in Dublin because there's still ghosts there or something. And then something happens. There's a resurgence of ghosts. And then all these girls are somehow connected to the original Ghostbusters. Somebody's niece, somebody's student, and they inherit the mantle from the original Ghostbusters. That would have been a movie with the same plot. Just the rest of the plot, follow it. The same movie. And connect it rather than... They expected us to throw away the old Ghostbusters and say, here's the new one. Love this now. No. The original was the original. And if they had just continued something in the universe, you could say, well, I don't like that part of the universe, or I don't like that. There was no reason to throw away existing Ghostbusters canon at all. They could have had the same fun rediscovering the weapons. They could have had the same fun with the characters. All that they could have done. Now, I could have done without Thor, dancing in the streets at the end. I thought that was a stupid ending. But the point is, if they had just not done it as a reboot and done it as a time fast-forwarded sequel, great. Story was fine. It was reverential to that. But it asked me to throw away everything I loved about the original Ghostbusters and take the characters and actors I knew and throw them into stupid cameos. So that's why I don't like it. Not because of the film, but because of what the filmmaker's original concept was, wrecked the potential. There is way more information you wanted about my opinion that you didn't care about the remake of Ghostbusters. So, and that's all I have to say about that. Life is like a box of nasty chocolates. Oh my goodness. Okay. Come on. Got him. All right. Oh, we made it to this screen again. Fantastic. Let's catch up on the chat here and see what's going on. Oh, while I was rambling, what happened? Let's see. Let's get back to here. Bill Murray was the only good part in that. I think all of the female actors were great. I think they were funny. I think they were spot on. They just should not have been reboot stuff, So Bill Murray was the only halfway decent cameo, but even there I felt insulted that he was... You took the actor from the original and made him a totally different person and expected garbage. Throw it away. Or call it anything but Ghostbusters. Right. Well, then it's a ripoff, right? So... Graham says, isn't there a new Ghostbusters out soon? Yes, there is. It would have been out by now. So what's very telling about how COVID has delayed all these things is that when you go to the toy aisle in in Walmart or Target, you're like, oh, King Kong versus Godzilla toys. Why are these on the shelf? Because that movie was supposed to be out. Why are these new Ghostbusters toys showing up? That movie is supposed to be out. Why are the new Master of the Universe toys showing up? Because that series, the animated series, was supposed to be out by now. All those things got delayed, but the things that were already, the machine was cranking, and those toys are already out. So, but yes, there is, it's Ghostbusters Afterlife. Somebody probably already said it, but it got delayed, yeah. Could have called it Ghostbusters, the female edition, sure. Check out, seen it, Tommy. Yep, Epic Rap Battles, Ghostbusters versus Mythbusters. Saw it probably like last week again because I was rewatching some ERB. Man, ERB is one of those concepts that makes me mad because I wish I'd thought of it. Genius. Those guys are geniuses. Oh, man. T2, John nails it as usual. Thank you. Pass the torch, not reinvent fire. Yes, agreed. 100%. Doug says, sounds like a lot like a story in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, I think you could draw some direct parallels there. Now, of course, they didn't actually try to wash away the old stuff, but if you look at Force Awakens, I mean, is it not just a New Hope with new actors? Kinda, in a lot of ways. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. What else we got? So much good chat in here. Oh, I'm so grateful for you guys. I've had a great time this evening, whatever this is now. New Ghostbusters, keep with its name. Yep. Let's see. Here we go. Great plot idea, dude. Thanks. The girl Ghostbuster disrespectful. As disrespectful as the start of Alien 3. Ooh, deep cut. I like it. Trucker says, when a single mother and her 2 children move to a new town, they soon discover... Oh, this is the Afterlife. Yeah, you're talking about Afterlife. Yeah, and I understand it pays some really good respect to Egon, who, of course, the actor has passed now, and so it's actually his family, I believe, the house. Yeah, good stuff. Original so much better. Yeah, for sure. John says, strong feelings. I think you just hate female comedians. No, I don't, John. I hope you're kidding. Not true at all. Not true at all. What's your opinion of the real Ghostbusters? The cartoon? Not on my radar. I didn't really care. I was in high school when that was on. I wasn't really watching after school cartoons. I was coming home playing with a computer, I guess, and girls is a thing that happened. Yep. Some of the casinos shut down their buffets. Tommy's talking about buffets again. Yes, more about the plot. And Burley says, probably the best scenes from the 2016 movie was the floaty balloons of the Macy Celebration scene, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the animated Ghostbusters logo. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff in there. Again, it's just the fact that they threw out the baby with the bathwater. I like that baby. That's my baby. Don't throw it out. That's my problem. Star Wars invented the term retcon. Yeah. Yeah. And Alan says, the new Ghostbusters probably turn up on Netflix. Yeah, I saw the SpongeBob turned up. I really want to see the new Ghostbusters in the theater, though. But who knows when that's going to be? Like, would I rather wait or would I rather see it? I saw the new Bill and Ted on my small screen, not the theater, and I think it was diminished. I enjoyed it, but I think I would have loved it more in the theater. So I hope it's in the theater. Have you seen the post-credit scenes of Ghostbusters 2016? Yes, I have. Didn't care for it. That was all the dancing in the street, the extra stuff, I think. That carried on. Or maybe it's after credits. Maybe I'm misremembering. T2 says, latest podcast motivated me to seek out the new Total Recall. Yeah. So recent podcast we did, we talked about the originals and the remakes of films. Ghostbusters wasn't one of them, but Total Recall was. In fact, let me shamelessly plug. Let me throw you a link to where you can go and listen if you're so inclined. If you don't already listen to the podcast and you enjoy this kind of fun, mindless, nostalgic rambling, we do that every single week on our show. And the latest podcast we released, I put a link to it right there in the chat, is all about Gen X movie remakes. And we take different facets of different films and debate whether the original or the remake were better. We looked at Karate Kid. We looked at Total Recall. I won't tell you the others. I'll let you see it if you're interested. Bullshit tie, says George. What are you going to do? What can I tell you? Yeah, man. So I'm having a great time, but I think it's just about time I should wrap up this stream. Been going at it really strong for a couple of hours now. I'm really grateful to all the folks that we had here in the chat. Bail this back to... Can I get the home screen? I think I can. There we go. Quit game. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, get back to that screen. And grateful to all of you that stopped by and those of you that you stayed. Some of you threw out the whole thing. And George, thanks for coming by. I know you had some stuff you were trying to get done today. Oh, who was Zool? Yeah, maybe I didn't see that, but I heard it. Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah. Alan says, "Hi, John from England. Love Space Invaders. Even got a Space Invaders tattoo last month. I would love it. Send me a picture. John at GenXGrownUp.com. Send me a picture of your tattoo. I want to see it, please. Because I have no ink, but I have thought about it many times, and that's right up there in the pantheon of things that deserve to be on my body, other than shirts, I guess. Yeah, quit the desktop would be nice. Well, I think probably this was ported, Tom, to a lot of different applications that don't have a desktop, so probably just home button. It feels like a tablet app that has been repurposed. So, but yeah, quit the desktop should be everywhere. I'm going to call it for this stream. Again, so grateful that you stopped by, that you participated in the chat. I've had a fantastic time talking with you. We talked about everything besides Space Invaders. In addition to Space Invaders, we talked about some sandwiches, some pizzas, some corn chips. We talked about some Ghostbusters. We talked about some Tron. We talked about some Sonic. It was a great time. It was way more than I expected. Always grateful to everybody that swings by. Check out our podcast if you don't. Be grateful for that. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, why not? It doesn't cost you anything, and it makes me feel better about myself as a human being. So you oughta. Thanks for your support. Thanks for being here for the live stream. I'll let you go for now. Have a great Saturday and the rest of your weekend, and hope to see you around on the next one.